This is going to be a Dad's Got Kicks podcast. Dude, I gotta take a pee break, man.
What?
I'll be back.
What up? Welcome to another episode of the Dad's Got Kicks podcast. I am your host, Esteban Serrano, and joining me tonight is half of the future Hall of Fame Splash Uncles, Efren. What up, and why is it only half of the splash tonight? It's like a drizzle. It's like a drip. It's like a, little, not so much a splash.
Well, show's got to go on, but unfortunately, Josh is feeling under weather. So, sending him good vibes. He'll get back on his feet. He'll be back on the pod soon enough. But until then, I just kind of feel for Steph Curry now. I know what he's going through, not having his wingman there. We'll make it through. We'll make it through. We'll make it happen. Future Hall of Fame Splash Uncles. I like that.
Get well. Hope by the time you hear this pod that you're back to 100%. But as you guys know, last episode we had Nick and Matt on the pod, and tonight we have a very, very special, very late member of the Dad's Got Kicks team. One of the founders. We are when we added this dude to the roster.
Yeah, talk about that. Yeah,
we felt like the Lakers adding LeBron.
Oh man,
this is before they added AD. It was like, if we can get this guy on our team, then we're going to go. But also, it still feels like that first season of the Lakers where they didn't really go as far as they thought because LeBron wasn't all that great by himself. We got to add another piece. That's what we're. No, I'm joking.
We have too many Lonzo balls in our team.
My brother from another, Brian, a.k.a. BBSketch. Welcome to the pod.
Hey, finally.
Why did they always say that?
Finally.
All of our guys are always like, yeah, it's good to be here. Finally.
Right. We ain't been shutting you out, bro.
Yeah, man, with all these kids, man. You got these kids and these bills to pay, man. Nah, man. No, but shout out to Josh, man. I was hoping that he would be on. I love the chemistry that you guys already have. And then I watched the last podcast. I was like, dang, man, I should have been on there.
Yeah, we had too much fun.
Yeah, I love it. Though. Next time.
For sure.
Well, I'm glad that you're here. You've been busy this year, huh?
Yeah, man. I'm thankful though, man. It's a good busy.
That's right.
But yeah, man.
So busy that we had to call Brandon Graham to ask for permission for you to just take a small window off to just be with us. And then he said, okay, only 45 minutes. That's all you're getting from him.
He said 55 because that's his number, but
yeah, man.
But speaking of that, bro, what's that been like, man? You've been customizing Brandon Graham's cleats. This is the Tom Brady strip sack forever in our memory. One of our favorite Eagles, one of our favorite Philadelphia sports heroes. You've been doing his cleats all season, man. What's that been like?
Yeah, man. It actually, again, by default, we're Eagles and Sixers fans, right? I'm not a Wentz fan. Just put that out there. But at the same
you gonna come out? We're talking about Brandon Graham. And look how easy you are right now. That you're airing out all your grievances.
So this is what has happened, man. Like I've become a fan of our defense. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I can't stand watching the whole team play, but when Brandon plays, because of the relationship that I developed with him and the effort that he puts in, I'm like, this dude is a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
And he's playing his heart out despite what the season is looking like, and it's not looking too good. But at the same time, I keep watching just for him. So that's this season, man. Again, the Sixers, I got some time to wait, and I'll be supporting them. But the Eagles, man, that's so hard to watch. It's torturous. It's almost like back in the day. When, again, I'm a Sixers fan, but back in the day, whenever Eric Snow had the ball, and like Iverson didn't have the ball, and Aaron McKee was on the corner, there was a certain amount of stress that you had. Was just like, yo, I hope he makes the right decision, and I hope that Aaron McKee can get his slow set shot off in enough time before a defender comes to block. You know what I'm saying? It's like that whole feeling throughout a whole NFL football game. Like I don't want that. Like I don't want to sign up for that. So
I feel you.
Yeah. So I'm rooting for Brandon Graham this season. Like the Eagles, I don't expect much, but yeah, man.
No, BG's been balling. And shout out to Efren for wearing his Eagles green tonight.
Yeah, Kelly,
oh man,
Kelly Green on me.
Oh man, I'll be right back.
It hurts, man. He's balling. He's balling, man.
So speaking of art and the work that you do, when did art become a profession and not just a passion? And how do those? Is there a relationship between the two, or do you have to like separate it somehow? Like, can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So doing artwork, I feel like that's a privilege, right? I feel like that it's something that's a passion and desire for me to do. But I have the privilege of earning income to take care of my family with that gift, right? And so when it became a profession is when I had a whole family to take care of, and I was like, I need to figure out something that makes more sense than delivering groceries for Peapod. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to figure out something that makes more sense than working for FedEx and put my body under the most amount of pain and not getting that much money. So it was almost like I always had a passion to do artwork, but I didn't know how it would play out. And by the grace of God, I've been able to, use that passion, use my gifting to provide for my family, and doors continue to open up. So respecting that, it is a craft, and respecting the fact that I do need to get better. I do need to constantly improve. Once I looked at it like that, and you know what I'm saying, like just being able to understand I need to get better in order to be ready for opportunities. That's when, you know what I'm saying, I've been able to see that as a profession and be able to walk in that type of calling.
Yeah. But I think the passion is what drives you to be better or to learn more about your craft.
Right.
If it was just strictly profession, I think we as humans would have a tendency to settle for, hey, I got good at it and I'm good where I'm at. That's it.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, it's been cool, man. And then like, again, with sports and the whole sneaker culture and stuff, like I love sports because, you're not going to be a standout player like a Brandon Graham unless you work at your craft on a consistent basis, right? He could have got to the NFL and be like, oh, no, I'm good. I don't need to do anything. But to continue to work on your craft, that's when you get those accolades. That's when, people notice and,
Yeah. Well, if they get on a streak, speaking of Brandon Graham and the Eagles, if they get on a winning streak and he's wearing a particular design that you put on his feet, he's probably not going to take them off, right?
Yeah, man. I'm excited though, man. I'm excited. At first I was scared because I'm like, he's wearing these cleats this year, and then they had this bad season. I'm like, if they were being superstitious, they could probably blame their record on feet. And then I was like, man, but I'm glad they're in a good spot now.
Yeah, for sure.
No, what I've been noticing is that Brandon Graham himself has been playing. This has been a big season for him individually.
Yeah.
So, and like every broadcast, they've been, his name has been called out. I mean, either he's been, sack or tackles for loss or, disruptive or whatever. Like he's personally been playing, super well. So I think it must be the shoes, right? I mean, if it's
got to be the shoes.
It's got to be the cleats, man.
I will out there. They win again. I'm putting it out there on social media. Definitely shoes.
Yeah. If there was a Sixer that you would dream to have, do work for, who would it be?
He's already done it for the best.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I did it for the Sixers. I mean, I did it for Iverson.
But like current roster.
Yeah. Man, Joel Embiid, man, he's hungry. I'm not gonna be negative, but like Joel Embiid, that's the only one that I can look at and be like, yo, he has that Mamba mentality. He has that hunger. He's not satisfied with what people say about him. Like he has a personal standard that he goes by, unlike some of the players that we have on our team.
Ben Simmons.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you should never have to say, like it's like for me, like I'm like, yo, I've done work for Adidas. I've done this. You can't tell me like, oh, like you shouldn't be saying your own stats. You shouldn't be saying like, no, I'm an all-star. I don't have to like that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
Joel Embiid, man, I his brand aligns with my brand and I wouldn't mind, you know what I'm saying, like doing some shoes for him. So
yeah.
You're gonna need a lot of paint.
Yeah.
A lot of foot.
It's like 15
16 ounces on each foot.
You did a mural in your town. That's practice for when you do Joel Embiid shoe.
Because of Joel, my back started hurting out of nowhere.
We need to rent that scissor lift again.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about that mural.
Yeah, man. The mural, man, that was another blessing because what came out of that, you know, again, I don't know, it's a lot of it. All this, that whole design behind me, it started out for, you know, as a painting for me to be able to, you know, almost give like a PowerPoint to talk to like hundreds of people. So the day before actually talking to hundreds of people, and I didn't even expect it to be that amount of people. I prayed about it and I was just like, oh God, how can I talk to a bunch of people without, you know, just helping them to understand what's going on around us with racial injustice and all that stuff, and not make it seem like it's just us versus them, meaning that minorities versus white people, just bluntly put, because we live in a majority of our neighborhood is full of white people, and so a lot of times you assume the worst about people, and that's just our human nature. Like they're not going to get it, they don't care, nobody's going to come. But I was surprised. Like I was almost brought to tears to see the amount of people that came out to want to just meet together and think about what's going on about it, around us. So I created the painting because that was the easiest thing for me to do, and I'm most comfortable speaking, whether it be, you know, to a client or whatever about design. Like I'm more of an introvert. So if I know what I'm talking about and this is my craft, I can speak to you at another level and draw you in. And so the idea of e pluribus unum, which means for many we are one, came about. And the symbolism of a fist, and again, in that painting is my fist. It's the symbolism of not violence, but people coming together in solidarity and agreement and understanding the difference between right and wrong. And, you know, that's where that image came from. So like you have all these different colors and forms coming together to represent like, yes, we all agree that this thing is wrong, and we're coming together in agreement. And we believe that, you know, there should be equality for everybody. And if this is the United States of America, then, you know, we should, you know what I'm saying, look out for one another. Yeah. Like despite what we each believe, despite our own religious backgrounds and our experiences, like we all believe that what we're seeing going on around us is wrong. So we should speak up against it. So yeah. And so from that painting, people saw it, they wanted prints. And then I had I have a great relationship with a local chiropractor who said, we have this wall, 32-foot wall. We would love for you to do that painting on this wall. And I was like, all right, cool. So
that's awesome.
We negotiated, and you know,
I thought you were gonna say your chiropractor wanted it tattooed on his back. Like, yo, explain where we could find it. You know, people on the pod, where they can come out and look at it. And then also, did you receive like any sort of feedback from the people in town? Like, have they reach out to you and said anything to you?
Yeah. So the mural is actually located in Jenkintown, Pennsylvania, the suburb of Philadelphia, like right outside of Philadelphia. And so like if you want to come out to Jenkintown, just ask about me. They say no. Just come out there.
You go to Kung Fu Tea and then ask them where. No,
right.
You can hit up your local Kung Fu Tea, and nah, man. So yeah. So it's in Jenkintown, Johnson Street, and so hopefully, and again, like that's the first of many. Like I had to go through so many board meetings just to get it approved, and that's like the first of many. Hopefully, first of many of those type of murals to come. And so with that, there was a bunch of people that kept walking through. And again, like for every 200 to 300 people, there was like one negative interaction. And it's not worth talking about.
Sure.
But, everybody was thanking me. And like by the 100, I don't know, the 50th person, man, I started to feel some type of, I started to really like understand how much this artwork meant, and I was like thankful. I was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I was like, God, thank you for choosing me to actually do this. So, and then at the same time, I didn't know I needed that type of encouragement from strangers. So, normally I just keep my head down. I work, I do custom work for people, but on a bigger scale, when people are driving by and they're stopping in their cars and they're like, you know what I'm saying? Like actually like stopping and looking at what I'm doing. And then they take time to roll the window down and tell me, thank you.
Right.
I'm like, man, thank you for, you know what I'm saying? Like being bold enough to say something. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's been a lot. 2020, for a lot of people, 2020 has been bad. We lost a couple friends, which, again, I think it still hasn't hit me yet, but overall 2020 has helped me, as well as like my my family, you know what I'm saying? Like my wife and I, like a lot of people like being quarantined, it like even the definition of being quarantined is like you stay in one place and you cleanse, right? So for me, like for my family and my household, we had to stay in one place and deal with issues that we were not dealing with. And it was a cleansing process. Yeah. So like, especially for my wife and I, like it's easier for me to like go to work and not have to deal with any type of cleansing process. But when I'm locked in, I don't have any events and nothing to go to. And I'm like, I had to deal with these issues. Like, that cleansing process was needed. Right. So spiritual, physical, all that stuff, mental.
Word. Well, let's go move on to some brighter subjects. You've been blessed to do a lot of work with some big brands. Some have been gigs, some have been, more on the collaborative side. What's been your favorite gig you got to do, and what's been your favorite, like more collaborative where you had more free reign to kind of just create for a brand?
I got two. Can I say two?
Yeah.
No.
I'll just cut one out. It's fine.
No, absolutely not. Nah, man. So with brands, man. All right. So the first one was Reebok, right? We grew up. That was more nostalgia, and I've been rewarded for my ability to appreciate old things and memories and be able to execute it and show it through art. So for me, nostalgia, like, I gotta choose my words wisely. So when you think about brands, right, everybody's familiar with Reebok.
Right.
So Reebok is on the same, they're like Fila, Reebok, Fila, Converse. They've been around for so long that you respect them. You have some type of memory with them.
Right.
Not everybody could afford Jordans or, you know what I'm saying? Like anything else higher than that. So for me, when I was coming up and it was time for me to spend my own money, like the Jordan 11 Concord, of course, everybody wanted it, but I was like, I can't afford that. So I was I was a fan of Allen Iverson, and then the Question. I remember the first time I saw the Reebok Questions with the red suede and the stitch and toe thing. Like, I remember seeing it. I was like, that's a beautiful shoe. So then when I had the money, I got it and all that stuff, right? And then not only, did I like the shoe, but the player connected to the shoe made me love it even more.
Right.
Yeah. So And that was the only Iverson shoe that I really got down with, because everything else was a little.
You didn't like the answer? I love the answer. Anyway,
it was all right. It was all right, but not enough for me to spend my own money at that age. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, that was all right. That and the DMX, the answer with the DMX technology.
Yes.
Talking about those.
Yes.
So the only thing that was weird about those is like when you open them up, and they had that patent leather in the middle.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That was weird. That was real weird. So, but the cushion, like when I tried them on, the cushion was great. Like
DMX, that tech is dope.
Yeah,
for the time.
Yeah. I still remember that commercial too. So the question I got the opportunity because they were bringing back the question and they were called the crossover, and I'm like, the representative from Reebok called me and we were discussing what was supposed to drop before it dropped, and I just couldn't see it. I'm like, that sounds weird. So it was like one shoe is supposed to represent the blue one, and then the other shoe is supposed to represent the red one, and it's a crossover from '96 when he crossed over Jordan, and then he crossed over culturally with his style, and they were telling me all about it, and I'm like, okay, that sounds, you know what I'm saying? Like, that sounds cool. And then, they were like, listen, we want you to, meet with Iverson and come to the office and do this. I'm like, I'm hearing it, and I'm like, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like the whole time it was like I was numb to it. I'm like, dang, I'm about to meet Iverson. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, I'm really about to meet the dude that I grew up watching, and like,
right.
It still, I think it still didn't hit me, but like, that's why I had pictures up, and I'm like, man, I met Iverson, and then when I finally met him, it was like he was like an uncle. Like, he was like one of those uncles at the family reunion that was like, yo, that's your uncle Alan. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like, you know what I'm saying? So when I met him, it was like I already knew him, and he was warm, and he didn't make me feel nervous, and like that was a memory I'll never forget. It was almost like I had pictures too. It was like I got to do something for him, but not be like fanish.
Right.
So I drew like Reebok commissioned me for a bunch of pieces based around the shoe release, and then I was like, I'm gonna do a custom illustration for Iverson, and I did my research, and come to find out, everybody likes him for the crossover, but he's a fan of the fact that he can dunk at 5'11".
Right.
So I was like, let me draw one of the.
You didn't even give him that extra inch.
No,
you went true to size on him.
Right.
Yeah.
He was 6 foot.
Bro, I have to say it now because when I met him in person, like he's like, he's not that tall. I'm only like 6 foot, 6'1". Yeah, and then when I met him, I'm like, that made him even greater.
So you're an average height for an American, is what you're saying. No, I'm joking. inside joke.
Yeah, man. Nah, so when I met him, I'm like, this dude is short. His long arms and and then like I had pictures and whatnot, and he was so excited at me. I drew him, and I drew him in an exaggerated way. He was dunking, and he had no pupils, and he was like, bro, why you draw me with no pupils? And I was like, and that was the time where I was nervous. I was like, bro, I didn't say it in a strong way.
Disrespect Uncle Alan like that.
I was like, because you're a beast. I was like, because you're a beast. And he laughed and he just kept patting me on my chest. And he did it like,
wow.
It seemed like for 10 minutes straight, to the point where I was like, all right, bro. I was like, all right.
Wow. Still pound for pound, like number one. Pound for pound, best player. Like at 6 foot, but at 5'11", absolutely pound for pound, the best.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure, man.
Yeah, I can't think anybody that compares to him. Like, we could say John Morant. He's not that.
No,
he's not
don't you dare say that.
Yeah.
Does he play with a broken arm? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Did he change the game? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Great player, but he ain't no Iverson, bro. This is Iverson to me is who is equivalent to the people who make the argument about Jay-Z. When they say the things that he impacted outside of just lyrics and bars and songs, when you look at Allen Iverson's impact and contributions to the game, when it comes to tats, when it comes to dress code, when it comes to
practice,
wardrobe, when it comes to practice, when it comes to all of those things, like, and what he brought to the game. Like, look at all these people wearing sleeves right now.
Yeah.
Nobody wore sleeves before Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson wore it because he broke his arm.
Yeah.
They're wearing it because Allen Iverson wore it.
Yeah.
Difference, man. Like, that dude impacted every aspect of the game.
And he
now,
played in Philly, and he balled out in like one of the toughest places to have to.
And was just
show
as
up.
tough.
Yeah, right.
And that's my thing. Like I feel like, I don't know. I for some reason I feel like nobody wants to play in the city of Philadelphia when it comes to the NBA. Like, but if we can find somebody who wants to stay and build a legacy there, like that I would be surprised. Like even with Embiid, like hopefully he stays here because Miami does seem a lot better than Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like just from the standpoint of where you're gonna live and the style.
And taxes.
Yeah, taxes too.
And all of those things. Yeah, when it comes to the money that you're getting, when you're offered a big contract in Pennsylvania versus Florida and Texas, where they don't touch a lot of your money, then you might have making $3-4 million, sometimes $5 million more on the same deal just because of the way those things are structured. So you're absolutely right. And then the cost of living in those places aren't as expensive.
Yep.
There's a lot that goes into it. But we're getting off of the topic of you and now getting on to some whole other stuff. So what's your favorite collab that you've done? Or is that both in one?
So that one, and then the Boston Celtics reached out to me and they were like, you know, we want to do a special edition poster print for everybody who comes into our arena. And we need you to do it around every single player. And so, like, that was cool because they were like, just do what you do, turn everybody into superheroes, and then put landmarks of Boston in the background.
Wow.
So, yeah. And then, so when they finally did it, I had people calling me saying, like, yo, your posters are on TV. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like NBA on ESPN, they have the posters on everybody's seats. And that was like,
that's unreal.
You know, and then I got another one too.
That's unreal.
So Marcus Morris, I think he reached out to me and he wanted some Christmas edition custom shoes. So I got to do that. I got to build a relationship with him. And so like even just doing that and seeing those on TV on Christmas Day in front of my family, like that was.
Did Markeith reach out to you too? His twin brother?
No.
Oh, come on, Markeith. Get your act together. Get your act together.
Well, I don't know. Truth be told, back then, during that time, Marcus Morris was the better brother.
Obviously.
He was the better brother. Now, I feel like they are, you know, they both are reliable players. You know what I'm saying? Like just to keep it real. But back then, Marcus Morris was, if we had a choice between Markeith and Marcus on the Sixers, it would definitely be Marcus.
No, that's major, man. Filling up a stadium with your art. That's like only rappers and rock stars get to do that. Like,
oh man.
All right, so obviously Brian's made the most of 2020 while the rest of us just sat back and had to tolerate it one way or another. But in the sneaker world, 2020 has not been a factor. And this could very well be one of the best on-feet years ever.
I spent the most.
Same.
This year is great.
Me too.
Same.
I'm surprised myself, and then I look in my room at the piles of boxes. I was like, I have a problem. I need to get my priorities straight.
That's a fact, man.
Yep.
But when we look back at 2020, what would we coin 2020 as when it comes to the sneaker world? Is it the year of the dunk? What do you guys think? Brian, we'll start with you. What is it? The year of what for sneakers?
All right, so I refuse to subscribe to this dunk comeback. Like, there none of them. I was a fan of the Wu-Tang yellow and black dunks, right? And I remember seeing them in high school, and I was like, those are clean. But everything else, I'm still on the fence about.
All the SBs?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I'm good on that. I'd rather get Jordan 1s than some.
See, this is when we need to start.
Hmm.
This is where we go back to
Interesting.
96 and we want to throw hands.
Yeah.
How dare you say that the amazing SB run that was 2000 to probably 2008, you were on the fence about the Three Little Bears, the Money Cat, the Floras, the Uncles, the De La Soul, the Undefeateds. Like,
I respect them at a distance, but like I'm used to like having the dunks on Nike ID, and then you could actually have the Zoom. Like you had that choice of the Zoom Nike Dunks and then the regular Nike Dunks. So like I still have a couple pair in my closet. If they brought that back, then I would be happy. But the stuff that they put out there and you can't even get them, like I don't.
yeah, the fact you can't get them sucks.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to that. So I think that's why I'm partial to it. Like I admire it, but I feel some type of way because they're just dunks and you won't allow me to get them.
Right. Okay. So your beef is not with the dunk as much as the accessibility thereof.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of the composition notebook dunks, like that stuff. Like I love that stuff.
Word. I feel like those are the most creative.
Yeah.
Silhouettes. Like of all the silhouettes, and as creative as anyone's gotten, you don't get more creative than the Grateful Dead dunk.
Yeah.
With the secret stash pocket, the fur. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't get more creative than that. So what are you coining this year? Instead of bashing the year of the dunk, why don't you tell us what you think?
Bro, man, I don't. It'll be hard to take these off. I got the Reggie Millers. Those were great to me. Those black and neon green Reggie Millers. I feel like even the Air Max 95s that they're bringing back out, like I feel like they are allowing us to be able to enjoy just stuff that we wish that we wanted, and they just keep pumping it out.
So is this the year of the retro? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I would say that.
What the Reggie Millers came out, it feels like so long ago, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially the
wow, man.
I bought a pair of the white and navy blue joints. I tried to bring those back like last year. Everybody laughed at me. They were like, no. Like, no. They were so heavy. They felt like phone books. Like I was like, I can't do it. Like I can't do it. It was like real heavy leather that was like great quality. And the air bubble was like something was wrong with the air bubble in the back. I'm like, nah, I can't do it.
To think that someone hooped and like broke rebounding records wearing those phone books.
Yeah. That's the part that is like, yo, these dudes actually put in work with this terrible technology.
Yo,
like you can't help but respect it.
Yeah.
So,
Efren, what do you think?
I'm not big on dunks either. Like I haven't bought them, but I loved watching them get released, like the Syracuse dunks specifically. When those came out, I was like, why don't I love these? Like, why am I not jumping right to my phone and trying to cop these? And I regret it to this day because anything orange, I fall in love with right away for some reason. And those, I think when they came out in, was it 85 originally? Like they were true like retros. So and the Kentuckys when they came out, be true to your school pack. That was phenomenal. And then you mentioned it, the Grateful Dead. Like that is a combination. Like, yes, it's the year of the dunks, but also if I were to like pick a collab that felt so out of place, but it just looked great and had great results, it was the Grateful Dunks, the Grateful Dead dunks, and that was, the orange ones over there. I was like, oh, I gotta get those.
The orange, the
oh
orange
my
with
gosh,
the green.
yeah. And then even colorways that I probably wouldn't even imagine, like the plum dunks that came out. I was like, I would never wear anything like that in any other silhouette. But if I were to grab those dunks, I would rock them for sure.
Word.
Yeah. It's just so versatile. Like you said, you could do so much with them, and they're so creative with those dunks.
Yeah, man. When I started collecting back in 2004, I started with dunks. Yeah. Dunks were what I was going after every week. And it was just this year, to Brian's point, like, and to your point, like, I loved seeing them release, knowing that I was never going to get my hands on any of them. Like the ambush dunks that dropped, I wanted to cry when it turned 10 a.m. or 9 a.m. and I literally was on the app and it said, and everything went through and it just was waiting in line. And then
I tried to get you
back.
the assist too.
Yo,
I tried.
Like those ambush dunks were so beautiful. And so I'm going to say that this year, for me at least, was the year of the ladies exclusives.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes. When I think about the tie-dye Jordan 1s, those were beautiful. When I think about the 5s, the off-white 5s, those were beautiful. Like there were so many dope. I feel like a lot of the Jordans this year, the ladies exclusives were the better J's. So shout out to the fact that the ladies were killing it this year.
And another orange one, the laser orange one, they had that.
Oh,
one.
yo.
Yeah. Anything orange, man. Just a hint of it.
Like, this was the only year that I was upset that I have a size 12 shoe.
Right.
Normally, I'm like, I don't mind big feet gang, but I'm like, dang, they don't even. And I think they come up like, I think the biggest sizes they got for men was like an 11 or like a 10 and a half. And it was just like, I ain't squeezing my knuckles into those joints, man. So to me, that was it. But,
So what was your favorite win of 2020?
Dang. That's a great. Brian, you take it first.
Bro, man. I don't know. I think that, man, I can't even remember. I would say recently those Reggie Millers, that was a win. I'm like, man, hopefully nobody is, you know what I'm saying, hype beasting on these.
Right.
Because I genuinely had memories for them, and I was like, I want them, versus somebody just wanting to get them just to resell them. So that was a personal win for me.
Like, so a personal win for me that was like I won them because I got the Quantum this year and that was through a plug, so that's not really a win. I don't feel like. I feel like something that I manually added to cart and got through.
Right.
I, through the grace of God, don't know how, got 2 pair of 350 sulfur.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was super limited.
Yes.
And it's also my biggest L of the year because I also sold them way too early. I sold them when they were only, I think, $100 above retail. And now they're $300, $250 above retail. And I'm looking like, you rookie. I knew I was supposed to hold them at least till the fall because there was such a fall colorway and they came out in the spring. But those are beautiful, beautiful. And as much as I clown Kanye and Travis Scott for all this earth tone, mud colored, how many different colors of mud can you have? But the sulfur was such a beautiful green.
Yeah.
That was my favorite win, just because I got them and it was really hard to get, but then I was so satisfied with getting them because a lot of times you be hype about something and you get it on foot and it's just not the same. But that was a real W for me. What about you?
It was all the way back in February, if you could remember back then. It was the Varsity Red Air Jordan 1s that they only made 23,000.
Oh my God.
I added to cart and got them in Sneakers app. Believe it or not.
Holy cow, man.
Yeah. So I lucked out. I mean, I have no idea how the heck that happened. And after that, I think my only other win on sneakers was the Fire Reds that was a shock drop while The Last Dance was playing. And that was my last win on my last W on Sneakers app. So that was what, like June or May? I forget. But it's been a while, man. It's been a while since I won on sneakers. I've since gone to other sites because I just can't win on sneakers anymore. I've given up on it entirely.
Right.
Yeah. But I like that your win is also your biggest loss of 2020, just all in one.
One big L. You know what? No, I have a big loss.
I know what it is.
What is it?
It's the biohacks, right?
No, man.
Oh no. Okay.
I'm over it.
Okay.
I've cried that my last cry on that. Here's the biggest L I took.
Okay.
And I have to.
Hold on. This is going to be a Dad's Got Kicks podcast. New. I gotta take a pee break, man.
What?
I'll be back.
What a rookie thing! What? This is going to be a first. And then he muted his thing like he's going to pee right there on the floor behind him or something. Like, who turns off their camera to go take a
piss? Jeez.
My days. He texts me, got a purr. P-E-R. He didn't even spell it right.
Did you wash your hands?
I did, man. And I
Did you pee behind you? Why would you turn your camera off? Did you turn around on the floor? Like I don't understand.
Don't slip on your way out, man.
Right.
Squishy.
Oh man, my biggest L of 2020 is not selling the sulfurs too early, and this is my biggest L was customizing a pair of Air Force Ones, premium Air Force Ones, snakeskin. When it was only available, the snakeskin was only available for a very limited time.
Mm-hmm.
I got a custom pair, snakeskin, black swoosh, beautiful, beautiful pair for my wife. She hates them.
Oh, that's an L.
Boy. Why?
At the worst level.
Doesn't like, not even like, she wouldn't even touch them. Like when I pulled the box open, she looked at him like if she was going to touch him, she was going to get COVID.
That's your love language. Sneakers, customized for your wife. What is she doing, man? I'll talk.
She didn't like the snake.
That's your cousin, bro. You need to talk to her, man.
Man, it's
she didn't like the snake.
She didn't like anything. Her first thing was, can you take them back? They're ID. I can't un-ID these. No,
actually you can.
You can return it. Well, I can't now. It's been 6 months.
Yeah. Well, so I ID'd some Pendleton Air Force Ones because I thought the 97s were sold out, and then I got them. I was like, what am I doing? I was like, I don't wear Air Force Ones anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is not like. So I was like, so I sent them back, and it was like a seamless for Nike Plus members. It's a seamless return. So
okay,
yeah.
Dang, I wish we'd have had this conversation in the earlier parts of 2020.
So it stings even more now.
It hurts so much more because I spent $200 on them or whatever.
Yeah, right.
I ID'd a premium pair of Forces.
Did you put it?
And they literally are still sitting here, not even touched.
Bro. That's why I don't do surprises anymore. I'd be like, babe, I seen this. This is what I'm thinking. What do you think? I don't play that game anymore.
I just don't buy her anything anymore. That's been my thing. I was like, I'm not buying.
Yeah, next time she's like, honey, how come you're not spontaneous anymore? You're gonna be. Right. Remember when I customized?
It hurt me, girl.
I'm done. Just have them
13
ready.
Years.
Have them behind you. Remember these? This is why I'm not spontaneous anymore.
Every gift, every Christmas, every birthday, every Valentine's Day, I'm giving her those sneakers. The same ones until she actually puts them on her feet. She's gonna open them like Groundhog's Day every holiday.
Brian, your next job is gonna be asking you to draw a cat with those on her. Just get it framed.
Right,
like, here, honey.
Bro, that would be hilarious.
Hates them. So that's the biggest L for me. What's your L?
I felt that L. Who, Brian?
Yeah, Sketch.
I have to go back though. I have to go back because I would be remiss. Like my biggest L of the year, and this is not a flex, right? So when I first started doing creating content based around sneakers and stuff like that, there were people that I looked up to, and I saw them like getting free sneakers and you know what I'm saying, getting seated, and I would reach out to them like, yo, how do you do this? So the one dude, there's one guy, he's friends with Taker Hatfield. He told me, he said, just keep working. And I was like, all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He just doesn't want to tell me. But I kept working, right? And so I get some stuff for free. And one of the things I've been able to have the pleasure of getting free is like Jordan brand stuff. And so the Jordan 11 is one of my favorite shoes. And that shoe, the Jubilee, the Jordan 11 Jubilee, showed up to my house in this premium silver wrapping. And that was the greatest win for me in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, wow. Like and even when the day of that release came out, I try to get a pair for my wife because I always like when I get stuff for free and she likes it, like I try to get, like, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather spend some money on her and make it even, but I couldn't get a pair. But that, when I saw that, I was like, man, that shoe is so beautiful. I don't even want to wear it. So like, yeah, that was the greatest one for me.
We're talking about losses here.
I know I had to say that, but that beats a Reggie Miller now that I think about it. So
he wins. He wins so much that he gets confused.
Right, even his wins are losses.
No, one of the
like, I got that Reggie Miller. I mean, that was a good win, but you know, it could have been a loss. I don't know.
Yeah, bro. A loss that I had was on the Kobe 5. The Kobe 5 Bruce Lee.
Yes.
Right. I was like, you know what? I tried to get it. Then I went on StockX and I bought them because I had the money. And I paid resale. And then that price on resale went down like a couple months later.
Yeah.
And I was a little hurt. I was like, but the shoe is so comfortable. I'm like, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a Kobe fan. I love the shoe. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a loss for me.
Definitely. I'm going to stick with that as my loss, but a different Kobe. It was the big stage. So that was the one that they held off in releasing.
Yes.
And then they were like, okay, we'll release them, but only like 7 of them.
Right. Yeah. During Mamba Day, was it?
Mamba Week.
Mamba Week, that's it.
Another L that I took was the Dark Mochas, which I ended up paying anyway for, resale. I thought for sure I was going to land them because, there were just so many of them.
Right.
But that didn't matter. The bots ate that day too.
Bot City.
Yep.
When you got them, did you put pink laces in them?
No,
right.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Come on, man. Why are people out here?
I don't know.
Why can't they be mochas? Why they got to be the poor man's Travis Scotts when you put the pink laces in them?
Yeah. Even the hot thing though, when you put white laces in them, they look great with white laces.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but watch, the dad put white laces on him. One of my kids is gonna spill Hawaiian Punch on him, turn him pink
laces,
and then people are gonna be like, "What are you trying to do up here?"
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Can't win
at all,
bro. I was watching it. I had the Kobe 5 PJ Tuckers, right?
Oof.
And so I needed to do something in time because we were supposed to go ride and look at Christmas lights.
Wait, is this another win? Because I can't take another win from you.
Nah, it was. Well, I won. I won because I got the PJ Tuckers, right? But I lost when I was going to change those shoes because I was going to wash the car, and I was like,
no.
So I go to wash the car, and then we're at the part where we vacuum the car, and then the tube is touching all over the ground.
I don't like where this is
going.
And
I'm avoiding it, but come to find out, and the PJ Tuckers had those neon green laces, and they're kind of light, and somehow the tube skimmed up against my laces, and now I have like black tar on my laces, and I'm like, man, that's not coming out. So that's when I was like, that was a loss, but
that's a loss.
Was like, you know what?
Yeah,
man.
Yeah,
man. I should have changed, but. Is what it
You
is.
knew you should have. You rolled the dice.
Man, that's
Yeah.
rough. That's rough. I spilled coffee once on a pair of threes. It was the Tinker Hatfield Jordan threes.
Oh,
Oh,
And white laces, that coffee stain. What I did was I ended up just like flipping the lace because I didn't want to look at it anymore.
that's terrible.
But it was the worst. It was I was standing next to our car, our minivan, and I had the coffee in hand. And then I turned and I hit the side view mirror because I'm an idiot. And then the coffee just went everywhere. And it was because like I was wrapping up my convo with Amanda, my wife, because there was a car waiting on our spot. They saw that she was pulling out. So I was like, all right, sorry to keep you waiting. Spill all the coffee. The person that was waiting for our parking spot saw it. Her jaw dropped. And I was like, it's your fault. Your fault, Karen. Your fault, Karen.
oh, man.
Yo, Karen's never. Maybe that's it. Look, we're gonna end the podcast right here. The year of the Karen.
It's the year of the Karen, for sure.
2020. Karens took the cake. They became famous, and they just are undefeated, man. We can't defeat the Karen. Karens or bots. I don't know what's worse, but you know,
man,
we'll see.
Toss up right there.
For sure. But anyway, BBsketch, thank you, man, for joining the Dad's Got Kicks team.
Where can we find you, Sketch? Where can we find you?
Instagram BBsketch, YouTube BBsketch, Facebook BBsketch.
That's tough. I don't know if I can remember that.
Right. You know you're famous when all of your handles are yours, and it's not the real or one at the
like
end.
Underscore BB Sketch.
B_B sketch underscore. Oh man! But thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yes.
This is the last Dad's Got Kicks podcast of 2020.
Hey.
Right.
So we're excited to deliver our first. This is our first year doing all of our content, our IG, our YouTube, our podcast. So, we got bigger and better plans for 2021. Hope you guys all enjoy your holidays, and we're wishing you all an amazing, happy new year. If you don't already, follow us on Dad's Got Kicks Instagram, YouTube. If you are listening to this on any streaming service, subscribe, like it, share it with another dad who loves kicks, because that's what we're all about here. Until next year, peace.
And that's a wrap.
Boom.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.
We're leaving in that pee break. We're going to have to just...
leave it.
We're going to cut to like a graphic.
My bad. I was like, yo, I've never felt that in my life. I was like, I'm about to pee myself on camera.
I said that you texted him that you need to take a purr break. You had to pee so bad that you spelled pee wrong.
Yeah,
I know. Per break. Yeah, I didn't have time to go back. I was like, man.
I got to be done. I can't fix it.
You almost had the worst L of 2020 almost happened on
Yeah,
this
I was
podcast.
like, I'm going to turn red on camera.